Good evening, dear TV friend, and welcome to yet another exciting edition of Mountain Echo here over DMRO TV of the Diocese of Boya. Today we have a very interesting topic, and of course we are going to enjoy the topic because it is timely and very, very educative. Of course, we are proud to have gentlemen and women of a high standard here in the studio today. And of course, today we are talking about drug abuse in the society. And it's very common in our quarters, in our community. You see young men, young women engaged in drug abuse, drug consumption, and which has led the community into what we have today. And it should be noted that this day that we celebrate, the International Day Against Drug Abuse, was instituted by the United Nations Organization, and that was around the early 60s. In order to prevent such happening in our society. And today, these mothers and their father will be giving us a good overview of this topic of today. And of course, we are pleased to have Ma Moki Henrietta, a guardian counselor and a special educator. Welcome, Mama.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I salute you for the initiative that you take all the time to take the information to the people. I also want to salute the bishop of the Boya Diocese, the Lordship Michael Bibi, for all the effort that he's doing to sustain this radio. And I also want to greet my panelists and all the tele viewers all over the world. And I believe that together, even with them out there, we are going to talk on the topic of the day and get something out of it.
Thank you very much, Mama, and I will be pleased to listen from you today. And of course, beside him, we have Mr. Theo Tadfor, an advocate against drug abuse. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Father. Good evening. Good evening, co-panelists, and good evening, all over the world.
Right beside me, I have Simo Clarice. She's also an advocate against drug abuse. Welcome, Mama.
Thank you. Good evening, Father. Good evening, co-panelists, and good evening to the viewers over there.
Thank you very much. As I earlier mentioned, today we celebrate the World International Day Against Drug Abuse, and it should be noted that this day was instituted by the United Nations Organization on the 7th of December 1987, and in the resolution 24/112, the United Nations Organization had to set a commission to fight against drug abuse. And the 26th of June was set aside as the annual celebration of this day. And that is why we are here today to have a look at this topic. And of course, Mark Clarice, we will talk about drug abuse. Sometimes people make this mistake between a drug and medication. Let me go and take my drugs. Some people say, let me go and take my medication. So can you give a light distinction between the two, drugs and medication?
Yeah. Drug abuse is the misuse of even the normal paracetamol and the normal medications that we know, because when you take more than the dosage, that is drug abuse. But the drug abuse we are talking about today is this instantly taking of these wrong drugs. Like we see today in the hospital, when they prescribe you, is the one that is common out there, tramadol. It's a painkiller. But we see that they misuse it now. They take it for another purpose. So the drug abuse can be the intake for drugs in the wrong purpose, or in the wrong dimension, or in the wrong form, or taking those hard substances that will lead you to the dependence of it. That is drug.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Theo. What makes it drug abuse? Is it the overdose of it, or what really constitutes this term drug abuse?
From the word abuse, it therefore means that not using it according to purpose. When the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. So when we consume drugs and we don't consume them as we ought to, it is drug abuse. As if you take even paracetamol and you take it more than you're supposed to take it, you're abusing the paracetamol. And effects will be with time, you see your body not even having the resistance. Instead of taking probably 2 as you normally should, probably start taking 4 before your body starts feeling the effect of the paracetamol. So whatever we take in the wrong proportion, whatever we take not respecting how it ought to be taken, is abuse. So drug abuse.
Thank you so much for that clarification. Dear TV friend, you are just tuning in. You are on to Mountain Echoes here over DMRO TV in the Diocese of Boya. And of course, Mamuki, where you go around our quarters, you see young men and women engaged in this drug issue in the society. What can be the cause of this incident in the society?
Okay, Mr. Moderator, what I want to tell you, the causes are diversifying. The causes are multiple. You will be shocked that so many people are shocked when you tell them that we have genetic causes. Genetic causes meaning that in some family the rate of drug consumption is so high, and you see somebody is a drunkard, for example, has high how can I call it, a high desire to consume, let's say, beer or afofo or those strong wines. Then you say, that's my father was drinking, my grandfather, my grandmother. So when it is like that, then it also affect the genes of the body. We also have the inquisitiveness of the individual. People take because they want to experience. They see as people are taking, they are behaving. They also want to really see what is causing them to behave the way they are behaving when they are taking what they are taking. We also have peer pressure. You see, a child or an individual is well aware of the danger or the dangerous aspect of this drug if he or she consumes, but will also go there because the friends, the mates are consuming. We also have the parental irresponsibility, the neglect, parental neglect. You see, parents will not even try. Parents are not checking, seeing the attitude, or even looking at, trying to examine the kind of relationships, the kind of friends that their children are keeping, or the kind of people their children are interacting with. And maybe before you know it, your child is interacting with a highly drug consumer person. So that's what we can see as causes. We also have stress. People are stressed. Let me tell you that even youth are stressed, even children are stressed. I will link it to the rights of a child, because we are in the month of June, the month of the rights of the child, because on the 16th of June, we celebrated the International Day of the Rights, the African Day of the Right of the Child. Why? Because children are subjected, children are going through a lot that are tampering with their rights. And how do I link drug abuse, drug consumption to the right of a child? When you see one of the things against the right of the child is violence. You see in homes too, parents violate their children, maybe by not taking good care of them, by shouting at them, by not also providing their needs. They don't provide their needs. It causes conflicts between the parents and the children. They don't take good care of them. They abuse them. You see, a child maybe has failed. Like this is the end of the school year, academic year. A child has come, he has failed. The parent will not even try to examine and see the causes of the failure, to see the person, the responsibility. Maybe it's not even the child, maybe it's even the parent. Throughout the year, they have been driving the child for fee drive, for not having the school needs. All those things contributed for the child not to perform the way he's supposed to perform. When the child comes back, maybe it was the school, the standard of the school. Then, without examining, everything is on the child, because the child, the student, is at the center of the learning or the end result of learning. They start, oh, you big head, you have spent my money, I've spent my money on you for nothing, or this and that, you not even go to school. Everything that the child will be facing that period will be excess abuse. And then before you know it, now the child in the house, the mother will do the same, the father will do the same, and the child will not know who to go to find comfort or to even explain. The child will go now to the friends, the child will go to the neighbor who is consuming all those things to find comfort and to find love. Before you know it, he's introduced to all those things.
Thank you very much. We have seen the various causes of drug abuse, be it from parental carelessness, from the society's peer pressure, and so on and so forth. Madam Clarice, what are some of the social effects of this drug abuse in the community?
Drug abuse, especially in the community, you see how it has destroyed, especially the youth, because now it's all about the youth. It's difficult to see an elderly somebody going to enter into drugs now. So when you look at them, even their way to speak, their way to talk, they're always arrogant. Their physical appearance is frightful. There's just no way that anybody consuming drugs, their color is different. No matter how if you take them everywhere, they are making creams to put you on them, you will not show. So you see that they're just, it has really condemned, destroyed the children, because you go around now, most of them, they're having this fancy feet, and it's being caused by drug abuse. They are educated. So you see that social wise, they are dirty. You cannot be, as you see a child that you put to bed, you ask if God, why did I? Because at times you don't even recognize the child. When you look at your child, you say, you think there is somebody that is passing. And when you see a child for about 15, 16, 17, they look like 40 years old people. So there's just no communication. There's no communication. They only have their type of communication, their communication is different from our own communication. So it has really destroyed them. Their social life is just, I don't know, it calls for alarm.
Thank you very much, Mr. Teo. Of course, you know that if you go through our quarters, you would see all those, you call them terraces, where they sit. And can you distinguish some of these drugs that can be taken that somebody may consume and is considered as a drug addict? Can you identify any of them? Like Mama mentioned already about tramadol, and is there any other?
Yeah, there are other forms of it. Many times it starts from healthy drugs. Okay. You start taking it anyway, or some of the time it starts with healthy drugs. Like tramadol, for example, is a painkiller for people who are in extreme pain, because there are other painkillers. Now, every medicine has a side effect. So at times you might have a patient in hospital. This one I'm talking from the medical point of view. A patient in hospital, probably you've had a kind of, let me say, bone surgery or an accident and something that really causes a lot of pain, and then now they prescribe you tramadol, because tramadol is not prescribed anyhow. It's mostly in some kind of cases. Now you start consuming the tramadol, and maybe the staff or the person who is monitoring you, the nurse or doctor, decides now to reduce your dose of tramadol for your body now to take over the process, because medicine are just there to help. Our body normally are there with their own antibodies and antigens to do their work. Now you, the patient, probably realize, okay, doctor is rather stepping down my dose of tramadol, whereas I'm still in pain. And you choose to become stubborn, and you decide to rather maintain it or take it up, or at times you have some, let me say, crisis, and you decide to say, okay, each time I feel pain, my doctor always gives me tramadol, and you start taking it. In the long run, you realize that you are now addictive to it. You are dependent on it, and that is how an addiction starts in one scenario. In another scenario, take the case of a depressed person who decides to go to drugs and feel high for a certain moment. Normally 5 minutes of feeling good, obviously, it's like, wow, I'm on top of the world. Everybody loves to feel great. Now, after feeling great for the 5 minutes, reality must always kick back in, and you realize, okay, I'm still in this mess. I have to still deal with this. And probably you don't want to take the patience of facing life as everybody should. You just want to keep on having that feel good and enjoying the moment. You keep on taking it. Before you know it, each time now you want to feel happy, you have to take it. It's like even beer. Some people need to be drunk probably for them to think that they have relaxed themselves. So probably start taking probably one bottle. By the time you are finishing the one bottle, you're already high and you say, okay, my own is enough. With time, one bottle is like you've not taken anything, it goes to two. So the continuous intake for that desire of having that particular pleasure makes you addictive, amongst other factors.
Thank you very much, dear TV fan. You are just tuning in. We are on to the program Mountain Echoes, and we are talking about International Day of Against Drug Abuse. And of course, we know that this day was instituted by the United Nations Organization in order to fight drug abuse. And of course, we have men and women here to give us more about this. And when we move around our quarters, around our communities, we see young men and women involved in such practices, and we need to know what to do, what to tell them, and the early signs of this drug abuse. I'll come back to you, Mr. Tio. What are the early signs in the life of young people that indicate that you are getting into danger? You have to sit up, you have to stop. Are there early signs of this drug abuse?
Yes, I would say so. Most you realize the first and basic change is patterns.
Okay.
There are children, not a normal child. Stop that. Go to your room. A natural instinct is fright within you and obedience.
Yeah.
But once you start having a child who is normally obedient, now probably the father talks and you two are like, baby who? And that resistance coming up, you definitely know that something is wrong somewhere.
Yes.
Behavioral pattern, change in behavioral pattern. There are students who, when they go to school, the master is like, run up! Pap! That fright comes in, they are running up. But now once they start taking those drugs, it starts giving them now this, I'll use the word courage.
Courage.
Or delusion. Yes, I'll use the word delusion because courage is different from what they are actually looking for. They are living a certain delusion where probably everybody starts becoming like an ant or an insignificant or a less than equal or something like that. That's the first sign you know that okay, something is definitely wrong somewhere. There are children who are not naturally stubborn. There is always a shift in behavioral patterns once drugs are involved. One thing may be hygiene. Now, this goes in two ways. Most of the times, those who consume drugs that we know them become dirty. They don't really pay so much attention to themselves, and at times they just throw themselves there. But again, there are those who are doing their best to hide it. If you see a child who is probably, or use the word averagely clean, suddenly becoming too clean, and probably I'll use the word reserved, ask questions, because at times they also try to hide the traces.
Yes.
And so you may become unusually clean so that those traces should not be seen, and probably nobody should notice and start talking to you.
Introvert.
So it's mostly in two ways. Now, still getting back to the behavioral pattern also, at times you might find somebody becoming more and more reserved. You must always ask questions. Generally, we just have to always ask questions when people start changing. It might be good change, it might be bad change, but we should always just be concerned. We are communal people. We are persons who are social persons, and we ought to be each other's keeper. Another thing we are going to see most of the times is the lips. Most of the drug addicts that we know around, the people who are in the tear, you look at their lips, you look at their legs. My God. You just sit and know. So these are a few I think you can easily notice amongst others.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tio. And of course, I'll come back to you, Madam Clarice. What role can schools and the youth organization play in preventing drug abuse?
Yeah. Schools. I think schools should schools should start at once they should surprise the student and every time to search their bags. Let them not search in the gate. They should just wait when they enter classes. They just close the class and they search the student. You will see things that will come out from the student. I think in that if they start to do that, we'll see that one school will be a little bit, they'll be limiting it in schools and they will not be introducing the other ones that are not yet inside. Yeah, I was going from 1 to 4. They had drugs in school. And because of other ones that have seen it, and they had to call the attention of the school authority. If not, maybe up to the end of the school year, they wouldn't have noticed. But because of that act, they called the various parents. They flog them. You know, parents. Imagine they call you, your daughter or your son in Form 1. They see them. They saw them with drugs. You see, you are coming, running. Mothers were entering the school, crying. Some came with their parents with that anger. They got them well beaten. And I think from that day, they did not go again to school with drugs. So now, the school's authority, they need to really step up. Because with what you are seeing in schools, with what you are seeing with drugs in schools, it's even more than the ones that are inside. You are in school, you see a student will enter a class at 8 o'clock. That student will sit, sleep till 2, 3, they go home. Because under the influence of drugs. And probably they just need to help. Because if they don't step into it, I don't know they have to do.
Okay, thank you so much. I think the school, they have a lot of role to play, and because you know, they said that after the family, the school, because the family is the basic level of a society, unit of a society, and of course they're followed by teachers. Because I believe that a child spends almost about more than half a day in school. You just less time with the parents. Of course, mom. So what are the other ways which we can prevent this abuse?
Okay, as a counselor, I want to say that, as somebody who is like interested and who has a concern to see that a situation is addressed, yes, we have to use the method that our co-panelists has just stated. But you know that whatsoever being the cause, the issue is the transformation of the mind. Yes, the transformation of the mind, the information. Some are into it, as we have said, they know, but they do it. Others are just being carried, yes, by ignorance. So, for what either cases, information. So, in school, from the beginning of the year, they have to start with sensitization, with awareness on the science, awareness on how it can destroy the person, the consequences on their system, the consequences in their system on them, and how it can entrave their life. Because if you are in a learning system, in a learning process, is because you want to acquire something. So if they give them the information concerning it, the dangerous aspect of it, the consequences in their body, in their system, in their life, sooner or later, I feel that you also help a long way. Why? Because beating them, yes, is good. They can beat them, but you people will bear with me that at times you will beat a child, even at home. You beat a child. Sometimes for some children, with some children you can work, with others, or with the same child that is working today, but tomorrow again you can see the child being resistant and whatsoever, maybe shouting, maybe cane. And at times now the only way again to bring that child to consciousness will be now to talk, to tell the child, you see, this attitude of yours, this behavior that you are portraying, these things that you are doing, they are detrimental to you. They will do like this, they will do like that. I feel that will help the children a lot. Sensitization. And again, the home should work to in straight collaboration and in a good relationship with the home. During parent-teachers meeting, during those meetings, the school and the parents should talk a lot. The school should also see the aspect where the parents are really lacking in helping these children, because yes, there are children who will take it from the home to school to initiate to others. Meanwhile, there are others who will take from school to the home to initiate. So it is a very two-way traffic. So I feel that if the parents are working with the school to have information and to see how they can help those children, I feel that it will also help. It will also go a long way to help them. And also in the community, if the community groups are also working with families concerning that aspect, I feel that it can also go a long way to help. So this is what I can say.
Thank you very much, Mom. And Mr. Teo, I'll come back to you. Why is it important to treat drug addiction as a public health issue and not just a legal one?
I think the answer to that would be very simple. If drug addiction was like malaria, it affects only you. You're the only person who shivers, and the only person who takes the medicine and you get fine, then obviously it will just be an individual issue. But just like every social concern, it affects one and has a multiplier effect. And that multiplier effect is not only on the one, but on the community. One child starts taking drugs and misbehaves in the house. As a multiplier effect, probably there's no longer peace in that house. The child goes out and the child is aggressive to other people. In whatever circumstance, it is a matter of one person affecting other people. As such, it is a call for concern. It is not because I will say my child doesn't take drugs, so it is not my concern. No, I am in a community. How should my community look like? What kind of environment should be in my community? Those are the questions that every reasonable man should ask him or herself. And so we say drug addiction, drug abuse, illicit trafficking is a community concern. And that is why we of Precious Life Foundation are continually saying no to drugs. And the people of Boyatown community are joining us to always say no to drugs, because we have seen the effects. It is one person smoking, yet the other comes to your nose, you are smoking indirectly. So there is no way we can say we cannot take it as a community issue. It affects one, but as a multiplier effect, it affects all of us. And besides, as persons also who should be our neighbor's keeper, shouldn't we show concern for them? So my message to everybody out there: drug abuse, drug addiction, illicit trafficking is a community issue, and everyone, I'm calling upon you to join the fight against drug abuse, against illicit trafficking.
Thank you so much, Madam Henrietta. Of course, Mr. Teo mentioned already Precious Life Foundation. You guys are fighting against drug abuse. Apart from Precious Life Foundation, who are other stakeholders who are involved in this fight against drug abuse, especially in Cameroon? Let us take the case of Cameroon. Let us just concentrate in the southwest region of Cameroon. Let us concentrate in Boya, in Fako division.
Well, the other stakeholders that we have in this fight, besides civil society organizations, is the community. The community is a very, very important facet, a very, very important ingredient, a very, very important tool, a very, very important whatever adjective you wish to use to describe it in the fight against drug abuse and illicit trafficking. Why so? First things first, everything happens in the community. As such, drug abuse affects the community. Drug abuse happens in the community. So the community is both, I would say, somebody suffering from it as well as somebody harboring it. So if the community should engage in fighting against it, obviously it is because they are major stakeholders. Secondly, we have leaders, as we commonly say, government. But I'll use the word leaders because to me it is a matter of leadership.
Yeah.
Our leaders are very important because they are the ones who direct, I would say, the vision. They are the ones who direct our plans of action. They are the ones who direct how we function. Probably through laws, decrees, and the rest.
Yeah.
Our leaders are very important stakeholders. They are the ones who also have the power to effect certain decisions. They are the ones who have the power to effect certain punishments, certain sanctions. So they too are very important stakeholders in the fight against drug abuse. Forces of law and order, the various ministries, not to talk of decentralization and the rest. The leaders are very important, as we call it, government. Secondly, or thirdly rather, the family. The family is one of the most important and basic units of community. all of the push and pull factors from drugs start in the family. What is the parenting style? Is it the parenting style that accommodates the child to speak up, to discover the child and help the child grow? Or is it the parenting style of oppression that probably may cause certain forms of depression or self-doubt and low self-esteem? As such, we also say the family is a very important tool. So everybody is an important ingredient. Everybody is an important stakeholder. Everybody is relevant to this fight against drug abuse. Not to even forget the church. We must continually preach and give the word. What kind of believers in Christ Jesus are we? Are we the ones who listen to his word, obey his word? What does his word tell us? Should we be slaves to things of the world, or should we honor God alone? As such, everybody, every institution, everyone, everywhere is a major stakeholder in the fight against drug abuse and illicit trafficking.
Okay, maybe Madam Clarice.
Yes. I want to add something. Yeah. Not forgetting the media.
Yeah, the media.
The media.
That's right.
Is also, because what we are saying here now is reaching somebody. What we are saying here now is creating a very significant impact.
Yeah.
So the radio is also one of the major, because one of the major stakeholders, because the government policies will see them, will be aware of them through the media.
Yeah.
What the non-governmental organizations or the civil society organizations are doing, generally we see them acting, we see them, and we are aware of them through the media, either the radio, the TV. So there are even the I can say, I want to say after the government is the radio.
Yeah.
Because without the radio, you can reach 10 people in your community.
Yeah.
I can reach 5 people in mine. But just what we are doing here now, we have reached billions of people. So the media is a capital factor and a capital actor.
Thank you so much. You are talking like a journalist. Of course, Evaris Rogers, a strong proponent of dependency theory, mentioned that the media, the journalists, are the gatekeepers of information, the society, and transformation.
Yeah.
You can imagine there are so many things that have happened in the course of history that was caused by journalists and of course by the media.
Yes.
Look at the effect of the Second World War, and the media has that power to affect change, to effect change in the society. I think you have really mentioned a very salient point that we need to take into consideration. Of course, I'll come back to you, Madam Clarice. You are a social worker against, you are an advocate against drug abuse. As a social worker against drug abuse, what advice will you give to children to stay away from drug abuse?
Yeah, the advice I'll give to children, like what I always tell my, know the people you are making friendship with, know where you are going to, know what you are taking, because like where we are coming from, in our Boya Town community, it's in the heart of the community that they have that we have there. It's not outside, it's inside the community. So, and it always back anymore when you see any child going out, even if it's just passing, you know, you must rush to check whether your child have entered the day. So what I always tell them, your intake, you know, this thing that, and this thing of testing, because most of them is this one day of testing.
Just not to cut you short, imagine a parent sending a young son to go and buy him cigarette, and then you tell the son that light it before coming. The child will be tempted to take one shot. I think most of the smokers will have this story that their father were smokers and they always send them to go and buy cigarette. In the course of buying, when they see that smoke, they would like to test it. Imagine a young boy going to buy Leon d'Or or all this whiskey for the father or for the mother. I think those are. Thank you so much for that. Yes, you can continue.
Yes, as you even said about that buying of cigarette, I used to, when I go to any nearby shop, if I see a child, an underage, less than 18, that the parents have sent to come and buy cigarette, ask the children, oh yeah, go back to their house. And if your father, if they joke, I'll take you people to, I'll take your parents to social welfare. You see, they send them to come and buy fighters, you rightly said, Leon d'Or, or even beer, of which parents, they don't know that you have to send your children to get those things when they are above, they're 18 and above. No. So you see, early in the morning, you say, one day the child will go, when you are not there to taste that thing they used to send them to go and buy. That is why I always tell them that, you see the issue, most of these children into this thing is just the should I say, most of them long throat. You know, those boys, when they take this, you used to pass, you see them, they are standing up sleeping. Then they too want to taste what that person is standing up sleeping. What did that person take? Let me taste it. So what I always, that's what I always telling they use the young ones, because I always go around to sensitize them that when you are when you are caught in a situation when your friend say taste, don't do it. The last time when I was in Baptist talking, I told them that as you are going out for holidays, don't try it, because once you taste it, you will not come out from it. So all I want to tell the youths out there that they should avoid, because you see the way say bad company. So when you go to I say forget that, you say no, if I did I no take them, one day you will take them. Yeah. So just avoid them. Then if you are trying to bring them out of it, avoid, first of all, try to avoid them while you are trying to bring them out of it from distance. If you know that you are weak, because some people that they are weak, let's put it that way. Or you go out, you are sharing drinks, you don't know, maybe when you step out, you want to come down, drop it into your drink, they'll go to the club, you see that I think that they say shisha, they'll go and put things there. It's not that I think that they're making like that. So the best way is to avoid them, or avoid to even don't taste it.
All right, thank you so much. Avoid circumstances that will lead you to the consumption of a drug. Avoid situation, and of course, the most important, places. Yes. Because you cannot take that thing in church. You cannot take that thing in class, yes, per se. They always say play the tear that you call, that is a particular place. So avoid going there. I'll come back to you, Mr. Teo. This is very important. As an individual, what can you do to contribute to making your community free from drugs? As an individual, in fact, tell us more about the Precious Life Foundation and your role in this particular issue.
Okay, thank you very much for that question. First of all, as individuals, what is our role in eradicating drug abuse and illicit trafficking? Yeah. First things first, stay away from it. Once you are not involved in it, I think you stand a better chance to talk to those who are in it, because they can see first of all the testimony of I can survive without drugs. First things first, stay away from it. As an individual, make up your mind, make that decision. Secondly, do not talk to those who are involved in it as if you are up there and they are down there, or as if they are not part of community.
Yeah,
I'm referring to our language should be the language of inclusion. No. Don't talk to me and make me feel less of myself. You are not going to pass across your message, because my response is no longer going to be getting your message, rather going to be me on the defensive.
Yeah.
So our manner of approach matters a lot. Again, Precious Life Foundation, collective work is the best. Collective work is the best. No man can change a system. It takes a system to create or change another system.
Yeah.
So if those of us who wish to stand and transform our community can collaborate, can work together, then we can say we are heading somewhere.
Yeah.
Now, coming to Precious Life Foundation. When we now have a community or a system that we are trying to use to change, we have to work in collaboration with all relevant stakeholders. I'll just use to share a few testimonies of Precious Life while explaining each point. Now, Precious Life Foundation, in collaboration with the Boyatown community, last year did an awareness march, and it will shock you to know that our mothers, as in grandmothers and great grandmothers, accompanied us. We rallied around the health center that's beside Mr. Alino's place. Yeah. We moved all the way into Wonalionga, came down to Stranger Quarters, went to Bonaberry, and had a dialogue at the Simos residence. This year, and our mothers followed us all of that distance. This year, there was, I would say, climate challenges that discouraged people when the rain fell early this morning. And I think there was also a funeral in Boya, somewhere up. So the number was not that much. But we still had the population, our members. We did an awareness march again. And we are collaborating. The second thing now is don't work in synergy. Work with the people of the community and also work with their leaders. As I prefer the word leaders to government, because to me it sounds better to call them leaders.
Yeah.
Now, when you also work with the leaders, you work with all relevant stakeholders to this. in the leadership positions. This year we made our campaign, and our program was very simple. We had a discussion. We invited the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Civic Education. We invited the Ministry of Social Welfare Southwest Delegation. We invited our friends, the police, national security, and we also invited the Boya Council. And we had constructive talks on how we can actually eradicate this ill in our society. I may please you to know that, and not forgetting, we also had the delegation for women empowerment and the family. She too was present. And may it please you to know that out of this discourse, Boya Town, Stranger West Quarters, West 1, the representative of the council head actually took a pledge that they are going to give us their maximum support and collaboration to eradicate the tear that is in our quarter.
Oh.
And the police also gave us the assurance of collaborating with us and all of the stakeholders who were there. Bosta Institute is now coming back to life. It's no longer the rehabilitation center for our brothers who had arms.
Ex-combatant.
Yes. Now it is fully back for its initial purpose of creation. That was information we also had from Mr. Abangma Divine. And there is so much more that is coming up. And so we as Precious Life, what is our duty now? Do our necessary due diligence to effect all of these MOUs to be in place. And we are not working also only on our own. It's unfortunate we are still growing, and so the outreach probably may not yet be as massive as possible. We believe in baby steps. We are also willing to collaborate with other civil society organizations. Leaving the DO's office on the Wednesday when we went to obtain our authorization, they were telling us that the DO was not on seat. I met a lady from Leslie Foundation, and I think they are situated somewhere at class quarters. And looking also at, because at least there's always something about first impression. There also seem like people who are willing to collaborate, and we too are looking forward to getting in contact with them and collaborating as well as with our leaders. So it's about collective efforts. There is nobody who can do it. Like somebody who wants to change Cameroon. How do you change corruption? By just looking at changing corruption? No. It takes a lot. So it's a matter of collective efforts, working with all relevant stakeholders. Precious Life Foundation also is willing and has been talking to the youths that while we encourage you to come out of drugs, come and tell us the trade you wish to do. We are going to record it, and then we try to see where we can fit you in. And happily, we are now first of all in collaboration with the delegation for women empowerment and the family. We are working now to have all the necessary to submit all of our necessary documents to collaborate with Boya Council. With social welfare, it's already a done deal. Just documents to go through, and not forgetting Ministry of Youth Affairs and Civic Education. So it's about working in synergy. It's about collective work. The paramount chief himself, the day the women, the mothers were fed up. They were Auntie Clarice was writing her exams. That day she had no exam, and they told her that, Mama, let us march and go to the paramount chief's office. Enough is enough. And of course, the Wednesday, even the paramount chief himself told them that he is also aware and it's actually an issue, and all of them are brainstorming. Today we even learned that they went to the commissariat with the
paramount chief and
so there are a lot of efforts, and I would say various coordinations are making a lot of things possible, and we are looking forward to seeing a Boya Town community free of illicit trafficking, no to drugs.
Thank you so much. We have this contribution coming in. Of course, we see that with the issue and the high increasing rate of this drug abuse, there's a high rate of crime wave in our society. Yeah. We are no longer safe. Where we used to walk at night very peacefully, now everybody is afraid, because when they take those things, they may attack you and injure you for nothing. And of course, we have this contribution. Good evening, Father Aka and crew. The program is timely as drug abuse has emerged as a significant public health concern, particularly among the young population. The prevalence of substance use disorders has been linked to various adverse outcomes, including diminishing productivity, increased health risks, and the social disintegration. It also associated with a range of societal issues, including increased rate of crime wave and violence. Additionally, the stigma surrounding drug abuse can lead to social isolation, and of course feeling of doubt and regret at the end of time. Therefore, there is a need for effective prevention programs on education and on educating young people about the risks of associating with drugs, and especially the health aspect of it. Additionally, early intervention strategies targeted at risk youth can help mitigate the onset of substance abuse. Community support system, including counseling and rehabilitation services, and are also essential in aiding recovery and reorientation in our society. This one is coming from Mr. Cliff Awa from Boya. Of course, they mentioned your area, counseling.
Yeah. This is what I wanted to say. Please excuse me.
Before that, I have a question here that I wanted to ask you. You just answer from this question. Why is compassion and support important for those recovering from addiction?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Let me first of all try something after you see give me the question.
Yeah.
I want to say something to add something to what my co-panelists have just said. There is that way, because there are many stakeholders. The issue of drug abuse being a call for concern has not started today, but it goes increasingly all the time. I want to say that before the civil organization, the civil society organizations, the state, the media, I want to say that there are two main people on whom this issue lies.
Okay.
The family and the community.
Yes.
Because one time last year, we gathered in my community too, we were talking about it. Then they cited an example of a quarter there in Kumba where mothers,
Yeah.
they came
I
out
saw it.
violently. They scattered they destroyed everything. Now, other communities, I thought that other communities would take it, but you see, I am saying that communities are accomplices.
Okay.
Yes, they are accomplices. Because if we say that we want to have a good community, if every family is good, definitely the community, before going out to the society at large. It seems as if in the quarters, because if you want to hit a situation, we should really say it the way it is. We should hit the nail on the right head.
Yeah.
In communities also, when I do the analysis and when I do the assessment, yes, analysis and evaluation, I see that in community, because those who are selling are not the young ones, so it's the adults who are bringing into the community. And people know very well, then they don't denounce. It seems as if there are odugus in communities. Yes, because yes, there are odugus in communities that and so what can you do? Yeah. And again, because they know that they have connection somewhere, they will be supported somewhere.
That is it. That's what
we should say it. Because communities cannot be so weak against one person to face one person or 2 or 10 people. But those who are also there to secure our lives, those who are there to see that we are saved, they should also really be with us, so that the communities will really fight against these odugus who are bringing this into the community and destroy our children. Now, there is something to answer what you said, that how can we?
Yeah, why is compassion and support important for those recovering from drug abuse?
Yeah, you have really touched my point. Because before, why they are intoxicating them, counseling should go on. And he said something so relevant, that when you are talking to them, don't render them useless.
That's right. Because
one of the essence of counseling is be non-judgmental.
Yes.
Have unconditional positive regards towards somebody who needs help, who is in a situation, whether he's the cause of the situation or he is being a victim. The whole show is that he is victim. He is victimized. He is suffering from the consequences of the situation. So when you are talking to him, first of all, see him as a human being, which originally is good, and is a situation that he's suffering from, that is causing him to be like an outcast. That has made him to shift away from the path considered by everybody as a good path.
Thank you so much.
You have compassion. You understand. You put your foot into his shoes to understand. Because if you don't do like that, you will not be able to even know why helping him to do confrontation or not. Because confrontation is when the individual is the one responsible for his problem. If you don't gather information very well, if you don't even give him that, show him that empathy and then love, he will not be able to open up. If it is a situation where he will open up, or he will not be able to be receptive if you don't use those techniques or that attitude to talk to him. So that's why those aspects are very, very important when you want to help them move out of that situation or disastrous situation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Talk about empathy and sympathy. Empathy is different from sympathy. When you sympathize with somebody, you stay aloof, you are from afar. But when you empathize, you enter into the shoes of that person to really see what the person is feeling. And you mentioned about the society and the family. And what I would like to add, that the person himself or herself is really very much important, because you can be doing all the efforts to recover or to help the person recover, but if the person is not willing to cooperate, I think it will not go. And of course, you are a counselor and you have the techniques, the basic techniques in order to help people on that. Of course, we are drawing closer to the end of our program, and of course, Madam Henrietta, I would like you to give us your last words. Our audience are really out there and they are listening to you.
Okay. What I want to tell us, the community, as the others said, communities, we are the first people to fight this fight, and that is what we've been doing. That's what I have been doing. I have been fighting and fighting every day. I have threat that I should stop talking about drugs, but that has not limited me, because most people out there are saying that, oh, they will come for me, they will do this, they will do that, and then they are scared. Like even today that we were going around doing the marching campaign. Yes, people were not showing up. Some they were just looking and sitting in their houses, that they are afraid that they will come for them. But I don't think if all of us we are together, they will come for one and leave one. So what I want to tell us, that we need to stand the fight, because it's our place to chase the people out of our community. If all the communities rises up and go to the various stay in their community, they will go. They will go, they will not stay there. So the community should sit up and fight this fight, and join us to fight this fight and eradicate drugs in our community, because our children have become useless. In the long run, you see that we will not have youth. If you continue like this, 5 years to come, you see that children will be, I don't know, if they don't really fight. And I will call also the authorities to help us in this fight, because on our own we cannot do it. That if you carry, because we used to take them, you go and hand them over. Before you are reaching back in the community, you meet them, they have already bypassed you on the way. Those are people that they detain. You don't know what happened. So the authorities should help us. The community should come up, so that we will join together and we will eradicate drugs in our community.
Yeah, we have this contribution coming in from Ngeya. She says early detection, treatment and recovery is very important for addicts. I think it's very important too. When you discover it very early, it's just like any other terminally ill disease that you discover it very early. We are able to treat it, and of course to bring it to control. And Mr. Teo, your last words for our audience.
Well, all listening, please now with Precious Life Foundation. We are true, we are sincere, there is the passion, there is the will, we are young, we are good, and so we are calling on all to partner with Precious Life Foundation. We are also calling on all of our leaders I don't like using the word government, like I said. I love using the word leaders. Please hear our cry. Please take sustainable steps, and please break the chain. The illicit trafficking happens because there is somebody among the leaders who is propagating the action and using members of the community. So break the chain, our dear leaders. Let us have a better society. Let's have a better community. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mom. Your last word.
Okay, thank you. My last word will go into dimensions. We cannot, to those who are into it, because even young adults, they are into it. To those who are into it, we love you people so much. If you see us, we have left our houses. Maybe since morning, some of us, they have not even seen their houses like me. If we sit here to talk to you people, it's because we love you. It's because we know the way this situation, this aspect of these drugs are destroying you people. Every human being is a blessing. Every human being is a blessing from God. And God's blessings cannot be destroyed like this. A child is a blessing to a family. An individual is a blessing to the community and to the world at large. Then, when the drugs, we are into drugs, when you people are into drugs, that which you ought to be a blessing to the family, you will not be, and to yourself, first of all, you will not be, because when there will be regret, meaning you may even turn to the people of to your family and say, if you people help me to understand the danger, I would have left it, then I wouldn't have been in a regret like this. When you see your other friends, your age mates who were not into it, they have met life, they are fine, you start regretting and looking for the scapegoats, trying to do displacement, pouring the anger on people. So we are not here to say that you are bad, no, but it's the drugs, the use of the drugs, which is bad. We love you people so much, and we understand whatsoever being the reasons that took you people or that are taking you people to eat, we are begging, that is not good. Now you may not understand, but what is sure is that it will follow you sooner or later. And we can also live here without saying that now is a holiday period. Parents, you people should you people should shine your eyes, because there are children that by the time that they are entering holidays, they escape from school, even from, but now that they are in holidays, they are loose somehow. Yes, because there's no specific, every minute, every second, every day, we have a new drug addict, or somebody is testing. So parents, you should learn how to spend time with your children. You should learn how to monitor your children, and above all, you people, it can even be the next door neighbor. It can even be the next door neighbor. It can even be a family member. You people are fighting that, okay, the children should go on holidays to our family members, because you know that with you they will eat so much, this and that, you no more prepare, they going back to school. You don't even spend time, you don't even check to know the house where your child is going. If the people in that house, they have the time to monitor your child like you. Or again, you are a mother, you are a father, since morning you have not come back home. You will be coming when the children are sleeping, and a right of this child, because the child, they need to be monitored, because whatsoever they are going towards, they don't know the danger. It's us, the parents, who know, or the elders who know the consequences. You want to send your child, you mama, you uncle, you want to send your child for holidays to your brother, because the wife's family has filled the house. You want your own child to, or your own children to go there and eat that money. Before you know it, yes, before you know it, the child goes there, and then stand up. Maybe your brother and the wife, they are not even there to monitor their own children, because when your brother or your sister child is bad, he will not tell you, because it's a shameful situation. So now you want the child to go there and eat too, because the wife family has filled their house. It becomes now a matter of revenge. You use that child now for revenge. You don't even check. You don't even go to spend the holidays with the child, or allow the child beside you, and then in fact, the situation is alarming. We should really check ourselves and help the children. We should help them. Because if we are talking of the right of the child, it's because the child is that fragile person is that fragile human being that you can take to any direction, like Nganako, like a goat, like a cat. You can make the cat will follow you, the goat will follow you. So it's us, the elders, the parents, who have to invest. You, mommy, limit your social groups. All the Njangis, Sunday after church, you go to Njangi, you come back at 8 o'clock, the children are sleeping. Your husband from morning, he has not even gone to church. He's coming at 1 o'clock night. On Monday, mommy, you are in quarter meeting. Tuesday, you are in the H-mate meeting. On Wednesday, after the market, you are in the market people meeting. On Thursday, you are in church. On Friday, every day, which time do you take care of that precious gift that God gave you? Because us, mommy, when children are fine, they are for the father. But when they are bad, it's our responsibility. And it's our womb that worked. So we should not spoil them. We should give precious time to take care of them, especially during holidays.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mama Henrietta. Of course,
Yes.
the issue to fight against drug abuse is not only on the government, on the private individual, even the church has a role to play, because the church governs a whole lot of population. And I'll tell you, the church, all the pulpits, in the pulpit, we are preaching on against drug abuse. I think that we shall have change in this community, especially in this southwest region, and particularly in Fako division. You go down to Bumaka, where I'm coming from, we have about 5 of them there. On Mondays, you see them. When you go for mass on Sunday, you see them sleeping, young girls and boys, and they are just there. You just wonder that is somebody 9 months. Of course, thank you very much, Madam Henrietta. You are a counselor, and of course, you have done justice to the topic of today. Thank you so much, Mr. Tio, and of a Precious Life Foundation there in Boya Town, and of course, Madam Clarice Simo, the same advocate of against drug abuse from Precious Blood Foundation. I think one of these days I will visit the Precious Blood Foundation to really see the good work that you are doing. We thank you so much for making yourself available here today and to educate our audience on this timely topic. So thank you so much, dear TV friend, and it's now that we have come to the close of our program. And if you are just tuning in, you are late. Last week I was opportune to meet the director of the rehabilitation center here, Mr. Bama. He was here, and he talked on that on the issue of working of the place and other things that are coming up in the place. And he promised to come back, and maybe next week he's going to be here. And if he comes, I would like to invite you, and of course, Madam Clarice and Mom Henrietta too. All of us will be here, so that we'll try to work this topic and say something about it again, because it is very, very important in our society. We cannot exhaust everything on a day like this, but I think that we'll look for other opportunities to look at it from a different dimension, and of course it will help our children. Thank you so much, dear TV friend. Thank you very much, station manager Joyce Mbong. Thank you so much, technicians, for making this program to be alive today. And of course, thank you all of you for coming, and I wish you a wonderful day, and stay tuned to DMRO TV, because we have more interesting program ahead. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you.
Thank you.